Welcome back, everyone, to the claws of the tyrant. Yes.
Yes.
Specifically, the Gravelands survivor story. Our last session, in total game time, was about 10 minutes long. Just think on that for a moment.
Hell yeah.
As we follow the story of a group of individuals that have been hiding out in the necrotically infused crypts underneath the town of Yua's Hope for the last 6 years, since the Whispering Tyrant broke free from his imprisonment and sent his hordes of undead to scour the land and rebuild his armies. Thankfully, you all have been safe down here, and with the Iomedean priest Constant Rusi casting create food and water every day for you guys, while it hasn't been comfortable, you have survived up until now. Unfortunately, things took a dark turn right fucking quick today, as you all awoke to the passing of Dame Talia Gildar, your inessential leader down here in the crypts, who had passed of old age. And during her funeral, a rapid transformation into a zombie had caused her to tear out the throat of Constant Rusi and begin trying to attack the rest of you. Thankfully, unprepared as some of you were, you did manage to put her fully to rest and also destroy the body of Constant Rusi, noting that it seemed to be going a rapid transformation into undeath as well, and just before that could be a problem, his body was destroyed. Unfortunately, this event caused a whole heaping helping of screaming from everyone else. Panic abound, and while you all dealt with the physical threat of the undead, the minds of everyone else began to turn to, what do we do now? We don't have food, we don't have water down here. We can no longer continue our existence down here in the crypts where it is physically safe. So we are going to have to leave, but do we leave on our own? Is it safer to try and strike out into the wilderness on our lonesome or in small groups, or do we try and move as one large group? You all spent some time trying to calm them down, speak with some of the individuals and families and groups down here, and convince them of your point of view, which I believe, and we'll go over again, but generally you all seemed to be pushing for moving as a large group. For very different reasons. Some of you wanted, let's make sure everyone survived. Some of you more so had the mindset of, hey, we can leave the slowest people behind if things get dicey, so come along so you have the protection of people to sacrifice. Whether that's right or wrong, who's to say? But as you spent a few minutes conversing with these people, trying to convince them, Mattis and Suri also headed into Constan's room, the area of crypt where he slept, and found a very nice-looking chest, actually, that he had been hiding this whole time. Thanks to a key and a charge he had given Mattis, you opened it up to find a canopic jar, the seemingly carved into the head of a monster on its lid, and blood soaking down the sides of it, something that simultaneously dropped the temperature of the space surrounding it, and yet was burning to the touch. A strange object radiating with divine presence, with the note you found alongside it confirming it is an artifact of powerful significance, containing the lungs of Erasni, former herald of the god Eredin, unfortunately killed, stolen, and turned to undeath by the necromantic King Geb far to the south of here. Should anyone manage to bring all of these canopic jars that hold her organs together, one could feasibly have the power to control Arasni herself, and thus it is of utmost importance that this jar be brought to the leadership of the Knights of Ozem for safekeeping. As the conversation wore on with people, and you guys managed to convince a lot of people that it would be best to stick together, including some of those who were the most vocal about leaving and traveling separately, namely the Brushpaws, Garag, Rockval. Unfortunately, the loud noises you guys had made this whole time certainly brought noise down upon you. That didn't make any sense. Sorry, my brain leaked out of my ear for a moment there.
Nope, I get it.
Not the door leading out of this place, but a portion of that wall, not quite repaired by you guys, collapsed as a group of undead managed to burrow their way in. A few zombies and an individual many of you recognized as Veronica Blightender, one of Marco's two parents that he has not seen in the years since coming down here. You manage to get all of the other survivors to keep to the side where it is safe, keep quiet, while you all very quickly dealt with all of the undead. Suri sustaining a couple injuries, but in the long run, thankfully, nothing of great danger to any of you. That is where we pick back up today, though. It is late evening. It is a point where most people are getting pretty tired, but decisions have to be made on what's going to be done, where people are going to go. You know for a fact it is not safe down here, and you guys are also quite heavily lacking in the food and water department. It's not enough for anyone to begin succumbing to starvation or dehydration yet, but if you linger too long, that will be a very real concern. So, as this fight has come to an end, Suri, your rage dropping, Ira, your exploit vulnerability, meaning Jack Diddley squat now. What are we thinking? You guys have just destroyed these undead. I would say at this point, enough remains of Veronica that it's still quite clear who she is to anyone who knows her. So whether you want to try and hide that from people or not is entirely up to you.
Yeah, Ira specifically, if nobody stops her, is going to come in and just stomp on the face.
Skulk was just gonna light the body on fire.
Fair.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Suri says to Skulk. You can't make such a fire in here. There's no ventilation.
We're not gonna use this room anymore. So
There's a
and I kind of start like before I actually start burning bodies, I kind of pile all the corpses on at once, and like kind of just make a few like a pile of bodies.
There's a hole. We're not coming back in here. Start burning the bodies. Get out of here. Close the door behind us.
I was, as I'm like pulling the bodies, I'm like, could you guys grab one of the tomb covers from the other room? We're gonna use it to barricade this door.
Ira looks at Suri and Mattis.
I'm a little too small.
I suppose.
Suri looks around and it's like she's torn because on one hand, these two are crazy.
Agreed.
But on the other hand, the situation is even crazier. So she, at some point, she just kind of like sighs exasperately and nods and is glad that she's got something to do. So she walks off, and as she walks to get one of those heavy stone lids, she lets the rest of the survivors know, like, it's taken care of. It's okay. Don't go in there. It is not a pretty sight. There's no one seeing some of these things. But please, don't. And
I'm
then she
going to
goes,
specifically stack the bodies, Jericho, so that Veronica is at the bottom and covered by the others so they don't see.
Yeah. Ira, would you give me a diplomacy check, please? Or not Ira, sorry, Suri.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't name. Brain out of the ear. Remember? And I would also say,
yes.
while you are doing that roll, those of you who are looking to destroy the bodies, while you could use actual fire, you could similarly do what you did with Constant and Dame Gildar, which is things like Vitality Lash, the charges that Skulk is able to create. You guys could effectively call upon that divine energy to erase these bodies fully.
So
I
that
am
we
out
don't
of
create
material, so
smoke.
I'm gonna have to ask Mantis to do this.
It's a ketchup baby.
Oh boy.
If we do it this way, maybe there won't be any smoke and alert more of them.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah, I kind of realized, sort of like patting down, I'm like, I don't have anything to start fires with it. That's your job now.
oh, all right, I'll make sure there's nothing that remains.
Suri, as you head to go grab one of the sarcophagi lids and call this out simultaneously to the rest, you do catch out of the corner of your eye a few people definitely slumping against the wall a little bit. There was a lot of tension in the air, especially when the undead broke through, because it was not something people were expecting. They were expecting undead to likely arrive, but it to be another case of bang on the door, rattle it a little bit before wandering away. Having them actually break in for the first time and through an unexpected route nearly set people into a full panic once more. But you guys took control of the situation quickly enough that they managed to retain their calm. And it does seem like they are... Many of them acknowledge the words, don't go and look at them. There's things you won't be able to unsee.
And if Suri notices that everyone is rattled by that, he'll also make a point and say, I told you, we have to move. We can't stay here, obviously, and we have to stay together. We can protect you. Everyone can contribute. We can survive as long as we stay together.
I actually wanted to ask. I think there was at least one or two people that none of us tried to talk to.
There were a couple so far, yeah.
Can you remind us of who that was?
It was the pair of goblins, Kleb and Bicky, Herda Pulsoma, and her son Yastolo, and Eliza Chardon. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Yes.
Conveniently, all the people on the south side.
Gee Willikers, it's almost like I separated them for a reason. People are beginning to make decisions at this point, so the time for attempting to influence them is relatively past. If you have something, like one last thing you'd like to say to the group here, Ira, you are welcome to do so.
Yeah.
But people have begun coming to a decision on their own at this point.
Yeah, realizing that, I think the last thing Ira will say to this group is just, you have two choices. You can come with the group and survive, or you can go on your own and die. The choice is yours. Just very blunt and matter of fact.
How long does destroying these bodies is going to take me?
It'll take you 30 seconds, probably, max.
Oh.
Not terribly long. especially because they were already near destroyed. The void was scoured from their bodies, so
Right.
it doesn't take you
Okay.
particularly long to just fully erase whatever remains. I will allow one more diplomacy check from you, Ira, in this case. Suri's words were definitely interestingly received by some of these people, especially when you mentioned, will protect you, while at the same time being pretty heavily injured yourself. The group saw the divine energy Mattis was pumping out to sort of keep you healed, and the injuries you've still sustained in spite of that are definitely making people scared. Whether that's for themselves or not, who's to say? As you, Ira, sort of stand in front of the group and say this once more, taking the time to look each person in the eyes and say, look, you can stay with us, you've got a better chance of survival, or go off on your own, but high chance you'll die. You guys, very interestingly enough, the people who you did not take time speaking with are already the people who were inclined to travel in a group in the first place. Elizo, Kleb, Bicky, all three of them are part of the Querulous Quartet, and seeing Crassian being willing to travel with you guys, they'd rather stick together. Herda and Yastolo, she needs safety for her and her son more than anything else, and she thankfully recognizes trying to avoid the undead with a 6-year-old child. Not a smart move on her own.
Especially one with a watermelon on his head.
Yes.
Look, that's a food source.
With a watermelon on his head, that looks like he's 40.
No, he just
Our
matured really early down here, okay?
Stressful existence.
Yep. Adds years to you, man.
Right.
I'm waiting. I'm just expecting just Solo's good. This child just chain smoking in the corner, like it's been a rough 6 years.
Look, if Skulk has given him access to cigarettes,
No.
Why not?
after, a minute of deliberation, some more quiet conversation amongst themselves, everyone sort of begins to nod. And I think it is going to be probably Rockvel who sort of steps forward as the voice of the entire group here. All right. I think it's understandable as well that we all stick together. Well, at least travel in groups. Getting food and water is going to be a challenge no matter what. Are you all thinking we should remain in one large group, or do you think it'd be better to separate into smaller groups?
Mira will actually turn to the rest of her party, because, like, off the top of her head, she, doesn't really know one way or another. To see what they think about one big group, or, like, split into 2 or 3.
Skulk is gonna see Ira turns to us and immediately turn towards the brush paws and be like, what do you guys think? You guys are rangers, you guys know this better than us.
Retsnav and Retsnov will immediately start, running around between the legs of everyone in here. Yono and Yaluva will take a moment and actually, sit, nuzzle each other and seemingly thinking. That is a good question, what they would think.
Well, I think there should be a point, how to word it, like a vanguard group to make sure the way is clear for the rest.
Ira will nod to that.
Yeah? There are, in total, 17 of you. So you'd break down into like 2 groups of 6 and a group of 5, or a group of 8 and a group of 9, or hell, even 3 groups of 4 and a group of 3. That doesn't math right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
3 groups of 4 and a group of 5. Realistically, Yono and Yaluva would actually probably disagree on this. Yono would probably motion with his tail to keep everyone together, while Yaluva would motion. It would be easier to avoid the undead if it's in separated groups. Yono's argument for remaining together, it's easier to guarantee that food can be provided for everyone.
Yeah, and Suri will pick that up and second that argument. Oh, yes, it is easier to avoid the undead when we're smaller groups, but it's also more dangerous if they do find us. If we need every and each one of us needs all the help they can get. We should all stay together.
Why don't we split the difference then? We basically do checkpoints. One group goes, then the next group meets up with them, and then so on and so forth. They start basically just hopping our way across. We catch up with everyone, and then keep going. That way, we ensure that everyone is mostly together, but everyone's still safe.
Ira will nod to that, saying, yes, the Vanguard group can clear out any small, reasonably dealable groups of undead, and the back group can come and meet at a checkpoint. No offense, but I don't think I'd like to clear out groups of undead while having to defend a small child at the same time.
Yustolo looks around. There's a small child around here? Where?
Ira doesn't respond to that, and she'll say, and if the rear group comes under attack, well, I'm sure there's some way we can call it out. Goblin songs are quite loud, and you'll be making noise while under attack anyways.
I think Garag might be the one to speak up and point out the potential flaw in that, of course. If the rear group comes under attack and your reasoning is, they'll be loud and will make noise to get help, that's going to draw likely yet more undead as well, isn't it?
Yes, but undead attacking the rear group, it's going to be noisy no matter what, yes? It'll draw attention no matter what. Better that they draw our attention as well as the attention of the nearby undead.
Then why wouldn't we all just stick together in the first place? If the majority of our combat-capable members are going to be in the Vanguard unit, then the group that's what you call rear guard has no guarantee of being able to even survive until the people in front would return to them.
That is a good point.
I suppose in that case, we go as one, and then when we find a group of undead barring the way that we can take out, combat group goes ahead, clears it out, but still within eyesight of the rear group.
You guys are free to make whatever decision you think is going to be best. There are pros and cons to whatever you choose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, just all my understanding, we're not thinking together as in basically we're in a 6x6 block,
right?
No.
Troop
versus
movement.
we are apart. Like one group leaves today and the other one tomorrow. So I think it would still be everyone goes together if we spread out over like 100 feet or something, where like
Sure.
Yeah.
a small group scouts ahead, like you say, right? Still within eyesight, but
Gotcha.
way ahead, and then the other group catches up and stuff like that.
Okay.
Don't be in fireball formation, basically.
Like, no square of death, please.
No one
Yeah.
here has the troop movement ability. We're good.
Excellent. All right, so Survivor's going to operate as a troop.
Who here has the form up action? I believe in you.
I
Um,
think Thaumaturge
Jericho,
can get it
didn't
as
you-
a class feat.
Yeah, Jericho, didn't you know I was actually playing a commander? So
Yeah,
I have the
of
commander
course.
energy.
Yeah,
Ooh.
from the battle cry book that's not out yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, with that sort of, all traveling together being decided, I think probably Crassian would be the one to speak up with a question next. Then where exactly are we heading? Are we looking to just hide out in the wilderness and survive off the land, or are we going to try and make it to safety, assuming any of the other towns or cities still stand? As Golden Flame to the east, Vellumis to the southeast.
Can I do a recall knowledge on Golden Flame?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess some
Jericho,
Vellumis
how
too.
long is this?
I'm sorry?
I don't know what Ursula was saying.
Oh.
And some of us have gone on supply runs in US Hope before, right?
Yes, some of you have gone up above ground and sort of taken a quick look around US Hope for usable stuff. Those were always relatively short missions that were like a dash up, get what you can, and make your way back down while trying to avoid undead rather than get into fights.
Right. But Suri is gonna add, whichever we decide, we should definitely see if we can find any more supplies within the town.
Absolutely. Yeah. You guys can certainly spend some time scavenging US Hope for anything usable.
Maybe we'll find a healer's kit.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Mattis, doing a quick moment of thinking about Golden Flame. You remember that to be a college town in Last Wall? Specifically, it was Golden Flame College that stood there, which was, doubled as a temple of Iomade. You're fairly certain that would be a decent bastion for, Knights of Ozem to be stationed at.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not... It's not large, necessarily. It was a small town. Compared to something like Vellumis, which was a walled city, though Vellumis was directly on the banks of Lake Carthen, where the undead were coming from. So, walled city right around where the undead were, or small college town that was much further inland. Ira, you remember that mostly the same as well? Oh, yeah.
Real quick, the thing Ira really wants to think about, how far away from any given border is US Hope?
From any... I specifically need survival from you for that, not just a general recall knowledge.
Shit. Okay, I don't have survival, never mind, I'm sorry. Tell me what I know about the nearby settlements.
Well, that's the funny thing. There's not a ton you generally know.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't local anyways. So.
Yeah, you did some small traveling here and there, for certain. So you would know of Golden Flame, Vellumis. You would also know some other locations like Three Pines Ford, Kassan, Hammer Rock. All of those are further, though. Vellumis and Golden Flame would be your closest locations, and each of them are still dozens of miles away.
Ira will pipe up here. I'm trying not to be too metagamey with this, but I do think this is something Ira would think. And she'll say, I would also like to cover the worst case scenario. If the entire nation has fallen, what is the closest border to somewhere else?
if she asks that, can I do the survival check? Because I am trained in survival.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who would
Is
like
that-
to do that may.
Be a blind one, right?
I'll allow this to be public. Skulk, this has only been a few minutes so far.
I was wondering because I wasn't sure if I would be able to medicine Suri during this time.
Do you have a healer's toolkit?
I do.
Yes. Someone knows what they're doing. Excellent.
You can certainly begin doing that, but don't make the roll yet for it. It has not been a full
That's why
10
I wanted
minutes.
to ask if that was
Yep. All good. Natis, as you start to think about it, certainly the border to Nermathis would be south of here, south-southwest, and would probably be a similar distance trying to get to there as it would be to get to Golden Flame or Vellumis, but that would be to directly reach the border itself. Settlements would be further beyond that. Probably by, you honestly don't know too much. And of course, you would have to cross a pretty big river to cross into Nermathis.
I think there's two rivers that have to be crossed. And...
Yeah. You guys are pretty close at the moment to the Pines Flow River is what you would hope is built near. And if you go to Vellumis, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just follow Pines Flow River, because that would, keep you with a hopefully fresh water source the entire way. But to actually then get into Nermathis, you would have to cross the Tarondal River, which is a much larger river.
Yeah.
That's not really easily swimmable.
Ira will kind of shrug and say, I'll leave the choice to you. You know this place better than I do.
Well, Golden Flame, I believe, is a little closer than Vellumis.
About 5 miles closer.
But only slightly, and that was a academic town. True, the Knights of Olsen might have held out there, but I don't know if it would have still stood. Vellumis, on the other hand, is a walled city. It would have had a much greater chance of weathering a horde of undead. And Three Pines Ford is far. I can't speak. It's considerably further than Vellumis and Golden Flame, and everywhere else is further than even that.
Quick out of game question again.
Yeah.
Does Skulk and Ira know about the letter saying where to bring the canoptic jar to? I forget if it was shared with us.
It was not, but also it didn't tell me where to take it.
Yeah, it just told them to take it to leadership of the Knights of Ozen.
Okay, understand.
Yeah. So
In that case, above table, I figure, where the Knights of Ozem are most likely to be, at least for the two of you, knowing this would be the best option.
I would probably say Vellumis is, in all scenarios, is probably the best choice.
Yep. I would agree with that.
okay. Crassian nods at that. Yeah, because Vellumis is about 60 miles in a straight line southeast of here. Golden Flame is about 45 to 50 miles northeast of here in a straight line. So... what I will do here is I will take a quick screenshot of people of just a quick map and send that into the server so you guys have a general idea of what you're looking at. sounds like we know what we're doing, but just to make sure. There you guys go.
Gotcha.
For a general idea, Vellumis really is right on the water, and Golden Flame is much further inland.
Okay.
All right. Rockville probably speaks up once more at this time. It's pretty late for most of us at this point, but if people are willing to push forward, it's probably not the worst idea to get going tonight. Though for those who need light sources, that will likely draw undead more towards us as we're trying to scavenge for supplies. Or we can, of course, wait until first thing in the morning to head out.
That would be my concern, is our reliance on light, and the undead have an advantage over us on that field.
I agree, it is not that dangerous to stay here further when the undead know where we are, but it would be even more dangerous to head out in the dark.
Wait, you guys can't see?
Ira just blinks at Skulk.
Some would still need light to see.
Says the one with the big floating light ball next to his head.
Yes. See, I need this. If I turn it off, I can't see.
Lame.
It's Sasra's little goblin.
It's mostly just Skulk has genuinely just never thought of the fact that other people don't have dark vision. It just never occurred to them.
I think only maybe 4 characters in this whole group would have it.
Yeah, not a lot of the group will actually have dark vision. There's a decent number of people with low light vision.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of humans in this group that are lacking in the ability to see in the dark. People like Rockville and Garag are some of the only ones who can actively see in the dark. Vicky and Kleb, of course. All right.
If we did have to travel out at night, I could use my cantrip to make it look like there's people in a location where there's not. But I would not want to rely on that tactic. Cast light 120 feet away. Go that direction.
Go that direction, Undead.
I mean,
there.
that's a friggin' tactic that's been used in warfare before,
Yeah.
so...
Skulk, I will say at this point you may go ahead and roll a treat wounds on Suri if you would like to.
Okay.
Assuming Suri, you're okay with Skulk having been treating some of your injuries during this time.
Yes, but he does not like that she keeps taking swigs of the rubbing alcohol.
Fair.
Fine.
Alrighty. 8 health back
Perfectly
to
average.
One away.
Thank you.
you. Okay. So it sounds generally like you guys would like to spend one more night down here, resting up and preparing yourself to head out in the morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's...
We barricade the door, right?
yes.
We can do that, yeah.
Like, it sucks, it's dangerous, but it's less dangerous than the alternative.
It's also putting the starvation and dehydration clock on everyone.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know.
That is a big thing to keep in mind. Granted, everyone is pretty fine so far. Does anyone in the party have a +0 con modifier?
I think I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Aha.
I can
Okay.
share some of mine.
That's not how that works. Okay. So, come tomorrow morning will be the first effectively full day since all of you have eaten. Mattis and Ira, come morning, the two of you are really going to begin to actively feel it. The biggest issue is actually going to come in the form of thirst for the two of you. You're going to need to get water pretty quickly, or you're going to start taking unhealable damage every hour.
Okay,
Come
alcohol.
tomorrow morning. Theoretically, alcohol would work.
I can use versatile vials to, if they are to the point that they're thirsty, give them at least one glass of alcohol to survive.
If you can make alcohol, why can't you make water?
That's not how this works.
He can only turn water into wine, but you need that first.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, for those of you with a 0 con, dehydration and starvation sets in one day after not consuming anything.
Oh, boy.
So, and that is, for thirst, it's 1d4 unhealable damage every hour you go without drinking.
Oh boy.
Starvation is just 1 damage every 24 hours without eating.
Damn, dehydration's so much worse.
Gee, I wonder why.
I knew I should have put more in the con.
Hey, you weren't expecting to be cooped up down here for years and then suddenly run out of food and water. Who would ever expect that sort of thing?
Not this guy.
The other question I will ask you guys, as it seems people are probably going to begin preparing to try and get one night of fitful sleep, the last night of sleep all of you have down here. Is anyone going to take a watch tonight?
Oh yeah, you know it. I think it might be worth it since we have so many people with us to do like 2-person watches.
Yeah.
Perhaps
And you want me rolling for my NPCs?
Well, oh, okay. you
I'm pulling your leg. You think I haven't made a stat sheet for every single one of these NPCs? They all have stats.
Oh boy. Yeah, hey, Justolo, you wanna fucking stand watch? I'm sure you'll do great.
He's going to fall asleep during his watch.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bother rolling for him. What I will say is effectively, since you guys have everyone, you can get people to double up with you and effectively get a successful aid roll on your own watch. So a +1 circumstance bonus to each of you who is going to take a watch throughout the night.
Okay.
As people begin to separate, find their way back to their own corners and bed down for the evening, Mattis, are you going to let Skulk and Ira know about what you found at all, or are you keeping that between you and Suri?
Question. I don't think it really has a whole lot of weight right now on the survival situation.
Sure.
So I don't think he's going to mention it right this moment.
Okay.
So stay a little bit mum on it.
Will you take any time tonight trying to identify what sort of magic it contains, or are you just going to be leaving it alone?
I can try to examine it.
Okay. It is entirely up to you if you'd like to.
Why do you word it that way?
Because I can.
But
My
Because he
goal is
wants
to
to make
make
you
you
sweat.
concerned.
I can find a quiet place and then examine it.
Sure. Go ahead and give me that recall knowledge. I do not believe you have read aura, correct?
I do not.
Okay. Funny enough, Mattis, you do.
Yes, I do.
What are you doing, my
forgot what
guy?
spells I prefer. I don't want to do it anymore, man. Unless show my life.
So what's really funny is the technical DC of this item, because of its level and the fact that it is a unique artifact. You super crit failed.
Super crit, awesome.
You would need a natural 20 to succeed, effectively trying to identify that. And only because a natural 20 would just barely put you over the threshold from a crit fail into a failure. This thing's base identify DC is 38, going off of the average check numbers.
Don't 20s only work if you could succeed without critting on a 20? Isn't that how that works? Or am I thinking?
No.
I don't think that's the case. Yeah, a 20
I
just
think that might
upgrades
be-
the degree of success.
That might have just been another DM's home rule then.
Yeah, like if you get to failure when you roll that 20, it would become a success.
It'd become a success. Which I see where this other person you're thinking of is going with that idea. I would typically describe it on a 20 as a actual flash of inspiration coming to the person.
Or sheer dumb luck.
Or sheer dumb luck, yeah. Mattis, you sort of take a few minutes at the beginning of your watch looking over this thing as it initially feels almost burning to the touch, but as you hold it, it doesn't sear you at all. It is simply a slightly uncomfortable warmth to it. The air around it does seem to cool, leaving you in this strange situation where your hands are quite warm, almost uncomfortably so, but the rest of your body is cold, as if caught out in winter without a coat.
Right.
As you hold and look over this, your fingers sort of caressing slightly the carved head of the jar and some of the dried blood on the outside of it, you recognize the divine power that is trapped in this thing. You can feel it. It is palpable in the air around you. And you can feel that you could draw on this power, potentially. This power exists to be used. But as you are holding on to this, the direct ways that you would manifest this power, what would be the correct times to use it in order to save oneself or get the most benefit, that is the information your mind fails to unlock. As you simply continue to hold this and go, man, shit's weird.
I hoped it to save me, but I don't know what to do with this. Put away.
Right. You went from just a normal guy trying to survive in a crypt to a theoretical leader of an entire group holding on to the lung of a herald of a god in less than 24 hours.
I've apparently inherited the mantle of Crimson Keeper. Okay.
So, what order are we looking to take our watches in tonight, for those who actually want to take a watch?
I'll take third watch.
Suri's
take
gonna have a hard
first.
time. Yeah, I was gonna say Suri's gonna have a hard time sleeping, so if she doesn't take first watch, she probably won't sleep anyway and take second.
Okay.
I guess I'm taking the last watch.
believe in you.
Fantastic. Then let's go ahead and get a perception check from everyone, please. As each of you at some point during the night gets woken by one of your allies and takes some time camping out near the entrance to
Oh my god.
rest and watch. Skulk? What was
I don't know what
that?
you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
You had one job.
I forgot to add my aid.
Yes, all of you forgot to add your aid. How shameful.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's okay. I know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just a +1 to all of your rolls. As the night passes, let me roll a d4 for no particular reason.
Oh boy.
Not at all.
Ira!
Oh boy.
Partway into your watch, as you are. Actually, I should specifically ask who is up with you.
Marco.
Okay. Good, you got the teenager. The lazy teenager. Fantastic. As the two of you are sort of sitting in quiet contemplation, Marco watching over the bear. Oh, that's actually so fitting you chose Marco. Marco
Oh. Yeah.
watching that sort of barricaded door from earlier in the day while you watch over the front door to these crypts. About 40 minutes or so into your watch, you see a light coming from that very, very small seam in the crypt doors. Barely enough to let the magical light of the Everlight crystals out, realistically. But a seam does still exist there. And you see a very faint blue glow through that.
Ira won't cause a fuss yet, but she is going to, wake up, pay attention, really focus on it.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
Okay, obviously it's not much to go on, but could I try a recall knowledge to think about undead with blue glows?
You can try.
Okay.
The DC is going to be quite high for
Yeah.
this because that is very little to go off of.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with a decent roll,
Yeah.
there's a couple things it could be, and maybe were you to get a better look at it, you'd be able to go, that's what I was looking at. But just going off of creatures, even specifically undead, that glow and emit a blue light, there's so many. It could be so many slight variations of undeath that it's not really worth the energy, especially as your stomach is growling like it is.
Yeah.
As you sit there watching it, though, the light moves slightly, just sort of back and forth through that crack in the bottom of the door. Just ever so slightly, almost as if something is out there swaying to and fro.
Very, breathing very quietly and very slowly, not quite holding her breath, but, like a horror movie when you're hiding in the closet and you're like... Yeah, oh god.
What languages does Ira speak?
Ira speaks Common, Amaroon, Goblin, Necrol, Orcish.
What languages?
Okay. You hear a voice, fainter than a whisper. Ira, it's me.
Ira is not going to respond.
Ira, it's me. Are you there?
Ira will continue to remain silent, but she is increasingly feeling like she needs to let somebody else know about this, but she's gonna wait for now.
Yeah. The voice just continues.
If this is some, making a voice to try and lure you to open up the door. I don't think she wants to let Marco know about it, because it'll probably, like, say, Marco, it's me, and it's the voice of his mom or whatever.
The one that you killed earlier, or the other one?
Either, honestly. Who's got the next shift?
Skulk would be up next.
The fourth shift?
Yeah.
Yep.
Skulk and Mattis went first and second.
But it's no, the next. So it would be
Right, so
Suri
Skulk
for,
is
for
next. Sorry, Suri and Mattis already went.
Okay.
Skulk is next. I can't
but
get
it's-
y'all's names right.
No, it's okay. It's still
It's
like an
very
hour and
early
20
in Deer Shift.
Yeah, it's early into the shift. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suri woke you up 20, 30 minutes ago.
Okay. If I woke up Mattis and he was only awake for a little bit, would it interrupt his sleep mechanically?
Not necessarily.
Okay, cool. In that case, Ira is going to very slowly.
Ira,
I guess the big question is, where would
It's
Mattis
me.
be sleeping? Where would Mattis be sleeping?
are you there?
Where would I be sleeping?
And I'm assuming this voice is like the exact same cadence every time.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's very similar, but there are slight variations to it.
Okay.
I think, honestly, with the way things have been going, Mattis would probably be like in one of
Okay,
these corners
yeah.
here.
You guys can also
cool.
just sort of generally say how far you are, because again,
Yeah.
this map is only a general representation of these crypts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mattis would be sleeping close, is the important. Yeah, in that case, Ira will very slowly and very quietly wake up Mattis.
Yeah.
Marco would probably look
And-
over as you're doing this. What's the matter?
Ira
What's happening?
Ira will raise a finger to her mouth to both Mattis and Marco. And for Marco, she'll also put up a hand to tell him to stay over there.
What?
And Ira will say, Mattis, there's something at the door. It's calling my name. I don't think it's mortal. Listen, I know I wanted to go on watch with Marco, but I think whatever this is, it's trying to lure me out there. I don't think Marco could resist it.
Is
Mattis,
this
can
the?
you...
Is this the main door?
It's the main
or
door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Ira will say, Mattis, I know you're trying to sleep, but can you stay up for like 10-15 minutes until it leaves? Because I'm worried if it does something to me, it might try to open the door.
Okay.
And
Alright.
if that happens, I need you to stop me.
Ira,
Okay.
it's me.
Do you hear that?
Please
voice?
help me.
Do I hear anything?
You hear nothing, Mattis. You also, doesn't sound like Ira's mentioned it to you, you do not see that light that Ira sees under the door.
Oh, yeah, Ira would have mentioned that as
Okay.
well.
There's a light.
I'm not surprised. Trick of the undead. Only the
Ira?
Demi see it.
Please. I need your help.
I'm gonna...
Help.
Ira is going to get a smirk on her face and turn towards the door and say, You picked the wrong person to try to convince with cries for help.
Are you sure that's wise? To respond?
Shit, probably not.
Now I know you're in there.
Oh no! I think they did pick the right one.
The light
Shit!
vanishes for you, Ira.
Fuck. Okay. Mattis, please, I am begging you, don't tell anybody I did that.
Alright.
I'll tell everybody about what happened, but let's leave me answering it out of the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Ira will let Mattis go back to sleep and then return to her watch position.
Sure.
Oh, all right.
Marco will look at you after that. Is everything okay, Ira?
Yes,
You don't look
Marcos,
too good.
There was something at the door. It's gone now.
Are you
Blue
sure?
light. Yes. Just so you know, blue light, calling my name. Let me know if you see something like that as well, okay?
Marco is going to roll a sense motive check on you. Ha!
Oh
god. Let's see here. That is very funny. He hilariously succeeded.
Okay, I mean, Ira's not really trying to deceive him
Right.
or anything.
And he recognizes that you believe whatever you were seeing and hearing. He also recognizes he didn't see or hear anything. And he's gonna look at you with very evident concern etched in his face. Ira, are you sure you're okay? There was nothing out there.
The undead play these kind of tricks. They appear only to one person, try to call out, try to get them to respond, to open the door. That sort of thing happens.
Why did you respond?
Ira looks to the side. Because I'm not as smart as I make myself out to be sometimes, Marco.
Oh, well, I knew that.
Ira just frowns.
Okay. You don't
keep it.
Look so good, so... I can take the rest of this watch if you want to get some sleep early.
Ira actually wants you to do a sense motive. Like, he's said she doesn't look too good, like, multiple times now. Like...
Yeah, I was gonna say, instead of a sense motive, can you give me a fortitude save?
Oh, fuck off. Do you have a button?
Nope. You can just make it.
Okay. Mattis would probably still be awake by this time, right? Like, if Marco's coming to me right...
Falling back asleep.
Okay.
Typical cat.
So, let me ask, as I'm making this fortitude save, as I feel whatever this is, would I have time to, like, shake Mattis to let him know, like, hey, something's happening again?
You'd have to get up, because this is, you know, after you'd let him go back to sleep and then went and sat down.
Oh my god,
back
that's
with
true.
Marco. Okay.
Let's roll that 20.
Marco looks genuinely concerned for you. You don't feel any different. You feel fine, aside from, you know, just general exhaustion and hunger at this point. Especially thirst, that's what's really getting to you right now, but...
Yeah.
You don't feel any strange malady or whatnot affecting you.
Ira's going to wake up Mattis again and be like, Mattis, I'm sorry, but I need to ask you a question.
Mattis, you just fell back asleep.
I'm really sorry. Do I look
42?
sickly? Do I look sickly? Marco is saying I looked sickly. I just need a confirmation on that. I believe you, Marco, but...
I could do a quick examination, I guess. I can roll medicine.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Open?
Yep.
All right. I don't fucking know.
Do you wish to hero point that, Mattis?
I would request that you do so, but I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, I think I will. I don't like one.
Almost was another one.
Almost.
I mean, you see the exhaustion set into Ira's face. You see the hunger. You guys have already effectively been fasting for years. And so to now actually go that extended period without being able to eat or drink. You recognize that Ira's sort of at that same point you are, where you're actually kind of in danger due to a lack of fresh food and water. Should time continue and progress. But other than that, you don't see anything that appears wrong with her. She doesn't seem to be doing great, but you don't see any signs of anything strange or supernatural.
You
Um,
know, nothing out of the ordinary aside from the lack of food and drink, which I'm feeling that too myself.
I'm sorry, Mattis. I suppose this is the last time I'll be waking you up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Ira will go back to her position in front of the statue. And she'll look at Marco with like a serious look on her face and say, Marco, how exactly do I not look well? To you.
Can you give me one more perception check, Ira?
Give you what, sorry?
One more perception check.
Okay.
Very fitting.
Oh my fucking god.
You notice at this point, Mattis, fallen back asleep, you go to sit down, look over next to Marco, who's been sitting next to you this whole time, looking at you and talking to you. And you sort of blink and rub your eyes a moment, just with the light sort of glare right there. Marco's not there.
Huh?
As you realize this, you see Marco is actually over by this door, sort of not sitting down, not directly in front of it, but like posted up against one of these sepulchers, just sort of staring intently at it.
Okay.
You don't know when he got there.
Before he came up to me and, well, because he was watching the door, right?
Yeah, but he was sitting over here with you
Okay.
earlier.
Okay. Ira is gonna do her best to not freak out right now. And she is going to slowly approach Marco, you know, kind of standing here so she can still keep an eye on the door.
Yeah.
And she'll, whisper... Oh, God, even out of character, I'm using her freaking voice. She'll whisper, you know, like a loud whisper and say, Marco,
Yeah?
what are you looking at?
I'm watching the door like you asked me to.
Marco, you're staring at one of the sepulchres.
No, he's posted up on, like, at one of the sepulchers, but watching the door.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood.
No, my apologies. He's, like, posted up leaning against the sepulchers, but he is watching the doors.
Okay. Ira will say, Marco, I need you to not be concerned when I ask you this. When was the last time you were sitting next to me at the statue?
He immediately looks concerned. I sat over there with you when we started our watch, but after you asked me to come over here and watch this door, I've been here for the last 10, 20 minutes.
Did Ira ever ask him to watch that door?
Did you specify which door?
Does she remember asking him to check that door?
That is a good question. I don't think Ira does.
Ira will nod. Say, sorry, just lack of food, lack of water, lack of sleep. It's getting to me a little bit. Keep up the good work.
Believe me, I get it. He'll look at you and just sort of squint in the light because looking at you is also looking toward that Everlight crystal, so it's a little bit blinding. But he'll just look at you, nod, and then go back to looking through the door. As you walk away and go to sit down, he will pipe up. Ira, I've got a question for you, actually.
As he asks this, Ira is going to turn and, like, which way is Marco facing? Is he facing towards Ira? Is he standing in the same place?
He's standing in the same place, like, posted up, facing the door, but he has, like, turned his head and is looking at you.
Okay, sorry, I know this is a weird question. How far has he turned his head? Is he doing fucking exorcist
A
on me
normal
right now?
amount.
Okay.
His head is turned a normal angle.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Marco.
Those undead that broke through the door, or broke through the wall earlier, did you recognize any of them?
Can I do a sense motive to see if I can pick up that he...
His expression is as if he knows something. You don't think in this moment you are the only one that has been hearing voices this watch.
Ira will stand up, go over again, and say, Marco, come here. Keep an eye on the door, but come here.
This is where his head turns a full 180. No, it doesn't. He will step away and does actually keep a slight distance from you. Not like a large distance, but he stays a few feet away.
I don't think Ira can blame him for that. I think she understands. And she'll ask, Marco, be honest with me. How has your shift been going?
You're avoiding the question, Ira.
Ira is going to think for a moment. I think Ira... Does Ira know Marco enough to know how he would react if she admitted that one of his mothers was there?
You've spent 6 years together at this point. You know he misses his mother's dearly. You also notice... Or not you notice. You know for a fact... he probably never confided this in you, but you might have overheard him speaking with Dame Talia and Suri about this. In recent months, he's admitted to the fact that he can't remember the faces of his parents, and that's what hurts the most.
What Ira will say is, Marco, the thing that knocked down that wall is not your mother. Your mother died 6 years ago. And the thing that wore her face had disfigured it. If you had seen that creature's face, it would have done nothing but broken your heart.
He just nods slightly, turns away and goes back to staring at that door.
I need to know, Marco. What have you seen? What have you heard?
I heard her talking to me.
Ira will nod. She does want to ask him what she was saying, but Marco's in a sore enough position at this point that she doesn't really want to push it.
Yeah.
And she'll say, the undead, they use what is in our hearts and in our minds against us. That is one of the things that makes them so despicable. I promise you, Marco, that was not your mother you heard. It was an abomination stealing her voice to use against you. Let me know if anything else happens, okay, Marco? I'll do the same for you. And Ira will head back to her position.
Okay. The rest of your watch, thankfully, passes without any further incident occurring. And eventually... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, when Ira goes to wake Skulkstick, she will let them know what she saw and heard.
Sounds good.
Just for my reference, Skulk, who do you have on watch with you?
That's a good question.
You have so many people to choose from.
Who wants to spend any time with Skulk at any point in the day?
Get Yostolo there with you.
No.
The child.
No, we are not bringing the child.
What's the child?
It's either gonna be Elizo or one of the Kitsunes from the family.
Okay.
Whichever of them was willing to volunteer.
Yono would probably be the one to, volunteer, if anything, because he'd want his kids to get some sleep, and Yuluva's just a bit crotchety in general over the fact that you guys are traveling as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Though they're okay with it at this point. They've come to terms with it, but they are still not the happiest. As you are awoken for your shift as the morning arrives, and Ira heads off to sleep as well. If there's one thing you notice throughout the night, it's that Marco does not go back to sleep. He continues to... He sits down at some point, but he continues to simply stare at that door all night.
Boy.
He doesn't do anything, but he does not sleep.
Gotcha. At some point, Skulk is gonna go over and tell me, "You should go to bed. We have a long day tomorrow. You don't want to be tired."
I got as much sleep as I'm going to get. Thank you.
Skulk will kind of just nod and just kind of walk away, but still kind of keep glancing over to make sure he's fine the entire night.
Yeah. Fantastic. Eventually, the morning does come. Your watch continues without any further issue, Skulk. Everyone generally awakens at a normal time for each person. You guys are free to go ahead and do your daily preparations here. Take a long rest, all of that jazz.
Once everybody's awake, Ira will, inform, get them together and inform them. A dangerous undead appeared to me and Marco last night. It glows blue. It will use the voices of your lost loved ones against you. if you hear someone that you know is lost or gone, do not listen to it. It is an undead trying to trick you.
Oh, lovely. Fantastic.
Oh.
Does anybody in particular say that, or is that just you?
That's just a general sentiment around the group of fucking hell, what else?
Ira will just kind of say, I am telling you so that we can all be prepared for it. She, of course, leaves out the part where she actually fucking responded to it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fair.
During this time, Skulkstick will also hand out vials of anti-plague.
Okay. Are you using that? So you're using some of your daily prep to make some anti-plague for everyone in the party?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. And everyone can just immediately drink those if they would like, since they last for 24 hours.
Right. Thank you, Skulkstick.
No problem.
So actually, what I would recommend everyone to do, I'll go ahead and put this in the chat for people. Just grab that effect and put it on your hotbar. If this is going to be something Skulk does every day.
Yes, it is.
That way you can just grab the effect. We don't have to do the whole song and dance of handing out vials to everyone. And all that jazz. Okay. As the morning arrives, you guys have reckoned it's time to begin heading out. Some of your number, Mattis, Ira, one or two of the other members of the overall group, have reached a point of starvation / dehydration. And so, something to certainly be careful of moving forward as you guys head out into the town of Yua's Hope itself and determine where to go from there. Are there any final things people would like to do down here in the crypt before you guys make your way out into the ruins of the town?
I think what Ira will do, you know, as they're getting ready to leave, I swear I'm not metagaming here, I just think this would be appropriate for Ira to do. She'll head over to Marco, say, how exactly does she want to do this? I think what she'll do actually is she'll say, Marco, is it okay if I give you a hug?
He does not respond to that. You can tell he is exhausted. He did not go back to sleep last night, and it is affecting him.
I think in that case, Ira will give him a light hug, and she'll say, I know what you went through last night. It was a horrible experience. But I want you to know, Marco, I will be here for you.
He just has very clear tear tracks down his face. Almost perhaps mirroring those acidic tear tracks on the undead corpse of his mother yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The tears don't appear to be acidic, right?
No, they're just
okay. Yeah.
just the stains of having cried quite a lot last night.
Quick, drink him.
You're wasting water, Marco.
Marco has a +2 con. He's fine.
Yeah, Ira will, pull out of the hug see that he's just not doing fucking well, and a hug and a word of encouragement isn't going to be enough. But yeah, I think she'll just end it with, "Come on, Mako, we've got this," and then start heading for the group as we're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, everyone makes ready for departure.
Skullstick will probably be one of the last people to leave and gather the Everlight crystals. That way, if we need to camp, we at least have like a small light source that's easy to cover.
Yeah.
Just to
Absolutely.
make sure, we did not have any leftovers. Basically, we were going casting to casting with the food and water.
Yeah, you guys ran out of food and water years ago.
Yeah, I
down
know.
here.
It was created by the priest, right?
Yes.
But I don't know how much he can create with each casting. So there was nothing. There's nothing left though.
No. One, it wouldn't last that long. Two, when he cast it, there would be people that had to fast for the day, effectively, just to make sure there was enough to go around.
Okay. Just making sure we're not missing anything.
Yeah. Realistically, a single casting of second rank create food creates enough to feed 6 creatures.
Yeesh.
There were about
Right.
18 of you down here. So
It's more the create water thing is more what I'm concerned with. If there's any, because each casting is 2 gallons, and he would have had multiple castings a day. So I wonder if there's
just
enough.
for posterity's sake, I'm treating the water about the same as the food.
Okay.
It also evaporates after a day. So I think
okay.
I will say Ira and Mattis are hilariously our only 2 people out of this entire group with a +0 con.
That's really funny.
I will say none of you are quite... Like, neither of you are at the point that an hour from now you're going to take damage.
Yeah.
Because you would have had a little bit of the water throughout the day as opposed to drinking it all first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
But you guys are going to need to spend some time subsisting today, probably. Or you are going to begin struggling. You are probably going to take damage throughout the night at that point. From lack of water.
And
could be bad.
so it's clearly our first priority to get food and water. Looking at the
Yes.
group, there's no way around that.
Yeah.
Is there a well in Eula's Hope?
There was
God.
not, since the town was very close. Actually, sorry, there is. Had to check my map for a moment. There was a well, actually just outside of the cathedral.
Oh, excellent. How far away is that river that we were gonna follow to the keep?
Yeah, so that's going to be a determination you guys will need to make when you actually leave Eula's Hope and fully strike out towards Vellumis, is whether you want to head to the river and take that down and then sort of follow the shore of Lake Encarthen into Vellumis, which is going to take longer, but will provide you guys fresh water the entire way, and make it a bit easier to forage for food as well. Or if you want to try and make that straight line dash, which is going to be much harder to navigate and get food on, but would be faster.
I'm really feeling the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how Simon and Steven feel about the river.
No, I think Suri sees how people are.
I'm also looking at it from the perspective of, if they can follow us by scent, the river covers our tracks.
Oh.
Maybe.
If we need to run away or anything like that.
And then Simon, you were saying Suri, what?
Yeah, I was saying that Suri sees how people are struggling and how important it is to get food and water, so that's a priority. So the river it is.
Okay.
The river it is.
Well, again, you guys have the
first.
opportunity. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, first we need to secure our exit and then check that
Yeah.
well, maybe.
Yeah, you guys have the opportunity to potentially do a bit of scavenging around Yua's Hope before you truly set out. So, all decisions you guys have to make and struggle with is how much time do we spend scavenging versus just getting on the road. So, effectively, you guys know you'll need about 8 hours a day to subsist and actually focus on finding enough food and water for everyone to survive. You need about 8 hours of sleep, leaving you guys 8 hours a day to travel and or do things like scavenge through Yua's Hope.
So, real quick, is there a reason that Mattis can't do Create Water?
I'm level 1.
Yeah, and Create Water is a rank 1 spell.
Is it?
So, yeah, create water is rank 1. So you could do that. You'd be losing out on some of your combat viability to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying
I might have-
you need to
I might
do
have
that. I'm
overlooked
just. Oh, go ahead.
Also,
I might have overlooked it. Yeah, it is one.
What were you going to say there,
also
Skulk?
was gonna say, we still have the Forager trait from the.
You guys are all benefiting from Forager as long as the brush paws stay with you, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll leave it up to you, Mattis, because it's your spell slots. But I do think having Create Water so we don't have to worry about that until we at least get to the river.
Okay.
You guys would be able to, depending on how long you want to spend in Yua's Hope, you'd probably be able to reach the river today.
Okay,
And be able to
Well-
spend time subsisting there.
I guess that's fine in that case. Never mind, sorry.
No, these are the questions that need asking.
If we, so for whatever reason, fail to make it anywhere and we don't have water, I can prepare for it to the next day so we can
Yeah.
resolve thirst.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Because I've already done day preparations.
Yeah.
Then, Suri, was there anything else you wanted to do before the group heads out?
No, just scout for or scavenge for things in town.
Yep. Skulkstick, anything else you would like to do in the crypts aside from gathering up those Everlight crystals as you prepare to leave?
Nope.
Okay. Would I be correct in assuming that with those Everlight crystals, you're going to be keeping them covered throughout the day?
Yeah, I'm gonna put them like in a pouch and wrap them up.
Fantastic.
Like a little bit of cloth, so nothing. Kind of.
Phenomenal. I'll actually leave this light on for now so people can see, I
I was gonna
suppose.
say, I'm only gonna take it once everyone is out. Of
Right. Mattis, anything else you would like to do before leaving the crypts?
The only thing I could think of is like if there's any of these other NPCs who could wear armor or use weapons, it might not be a bad idea to pilfer Dame Talia's equipment.
If you guys want to take Dame Talia's armor and weapon, you certainly can.
Like of the player characters, it's not of no use because we either already have armor or don't use dex. But I was wondering, like maybe Garag might need to defend himself, for example.
Garag
to
could
be-
certainly take that armor and sword if you guys wanted to give it to him.
I'll approach him. It's like, Garag, you're of everyone here. I think you're probably the closest thing to an accomplished soldier. Would you want weaponry and armor? Because, I mean, Dame Talia did have armor and a longsword.
I suppose it would be better than just leaving them down here unused, wouldn't it?
And it might give you a chance to. If the worst comes to worst, it'll give you a fighting chance.
Well, if everyone else is all right with it, I will arm myself.
I think she would like her equipment to be used for the good of the group. If he saves at least one life, then perhaps she'll recognize it in afterlife.
Then Garog will take Dame Talia's breastplate and longsword. Fantastic. Then I think the time has come for the door to be unbarred and you all to head out into Yua's Hope proper. What dangers that might bring, what perils might befall you, and who, if any of you, will survive to see safety at Vellumis, we'll start looking into after the break.
Oh boy.
You know the drills.
So,
What?
I was gonna say, like, out of game, because we know what's been going on with War of Immortals, we're kind of walking into a fucking trap here, aren't we?
I don't know what you're talking about. Because I
Like,
haven't read that
logically
book.
speaking, I feel like we're probably fucked.
Like, I have that book, but I haven't read it.
Oh, fair.
I haven't read the
I know
lore.
enough about what's been going on in Last Wall because it's one of my favorite areas in terms of stuff. Knowing what I know, I think we're gonna die no matter what happens.
Nah, we'll be fine.
There
I'm
is.
just really
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just really curious from an entirely meta perspective. How are gonna fit a group of level 1 characters into this area?
Yep.
Well,
I have my suspicion on what the plot's gonna become for this mission, or for this adventure, and how it's gonna end. I'm not sure, but I have my suspicions.
well, go get some water, stand up, stretch, so we can start figuring that shit out. Go, 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 go. Well, welcome back, everyone, from that lovely little mess. So, as you guys unbar the door, finally, you've gone outside a few times these last few years, some of you at least, to do a little bit of looking around for supplies. But for the first time, you guys are unbarring the door and opening it with no plans to return. And that marks this as a special occasion, truly, for you guys. As you unbar, place the bar gently down on the ground, and push the doors open, you find yourself in a long underground chamber. Relatively empty at this point in time, but what is the cellar of the Allspire Cathedral here in Yua's Hope. Much of the stonework down here appears to be in good repair still. The stones themselves that make up the walls and floor shaped quite unusually to resemble tombstones as opposed to regular building blocks. For those that spent any time in the cathedral beforehand or have gone on one of the few expeditions these last few years, you recognize that each and every stone that this cathedral is built of is carved with a blessing into it. Short, but powerful blessings to Iomade, Erastil, Serenray, a dozen other deities worshipped across Avestan, revered by the Knights of Ozem. Most are, of course, prayers to the Lady of Graves for protection against the forces of evil and undeath, but there are individual prayers to other deities around as well, filling this entire area with a feeling of sanctity, though there is no actual divine power or presence that fills this space. As you guys begin making your way quietly down the hall towards an old staircase leading up to the cathedral proper, I am going to ask everyone to determine what their exploration activity is for the next little bit. for those of you who look at your character sheets in the exploration tab of your actions, you will notice you have a specific action there as well. Something a bit unique to this story, specifically evading the undead here in Eula's Hope. It's effectively avoiding notice, but it gives a slightly wider variety of skill checks you can do. Not everyone has to do this, but you theoretically want as many people as possible to do this, because there will be penalties for the people that aren't doing it.
Suri's definitely going to do it. She's going to try to move quickly and duck from cover to cover, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Ira will do it as well.
Sure. So keep in mind, doing this sort of thing is going to prevent you from doing things like scouting or searching or investigating primarily.
Yeah. I mean,
So that is the trade-off.
Mattis has the best perception. Mattis, do you want to search while the rest of us
Sure.
evade undead?
I can do that.
Okay.
I assume the dozen NPCs that were accompanied by an exploration activity.
Those who can be evading the undead will be. Marco specifically is fatigued, which means he cannot. And so that is building onto the penalty for this as well. So, Mattis, I am going to ask for your perception check, blind, of course. The rest of you, I'm going to ask for the check you would like. I believe evade undead there specifies some of the things you can do. Stealth, acrobatics, athletics, society, however you would like to do it. You'll also notice that stealth and society should be blind. If you do acrobatics or athletics, it can be public. You guys are going to do this at a -2 circumstance penalty, please. Since both Mattis and Marco are not doing this action.
Oh, God.
Nice.
It'll be fine. Maybe.
The DC is not necessarily super high.
Sorry, I'm still figuring out which checks are on the macro and which one are directly on the sheet.
Yeah.
It's just-
If you're going to do sneak or recall knowledge, those are both on the sheet. If you're going to do athletics or acrobatics, just roll those from your sheet.
Here we go. And a -1, you said?
-2.
-2. Worth a shot.
Fantastic. Okay.
Oh, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
As soon as we open up the door, Ira did want to take a quick look around to see if there's any trace of anybody who might have been there last
Sure.
night.
Give me a perception check for that. Oh my goodness gracious, people.
I hope that's a good sign.
No, it's not.
Oh no.
Y'all's dice rolls need help. Like, real fucking badly. Okay. Well, certainly not the best start. Let's leave it at that.
Oh boy.
As you guys begin moving quickly and quietly up and out, we might take a moment for it to load for everyone, but we are going to move up into an actual map of Eula's Hope.
Nice.
To give you guys an idea. You'll notice a number of names down. These are all locations that, through spending some time chatting with each other and thinking, would probably be the places most likely to have salvageable supplies. However, of course, every place you go does carry the risk of danger.
I know where Skull State's gonna go.
The
So-
longer you guys spend here is also the more likely you are to come across undead. Yes, Ira?
I guess the big question is, like, last time we were out here, how many undead were there here?
there's a lot typically shambling around in the realm of dozens. Even as you guys begin quietly making your way out of the cathedral, taking a quick look around. Actually, I almost forgot to turn this on. Give me one moment. Where are you, my lovely little effects? Get in here, fog.
Oh no. No, not the fog.
Yeah, the light fog rolling in.
At least it's not blood.
It's not the blood fog. That's a different campaign. There is a light fog sort of covering the ground. The sky is a gray overcast. There's barely any sunlight coming out, even early morning, such as it is. That fog feels very heavy. Is that just me?
It is pretty
A
heavy.
little bit, yeah.
Let's go ahead and...
It's to our advantage.
You think? Let's go ahead and just lighten that a little bit. It'll take a moment to affect those changes, but we want ambiance, not invisible. Real quick, as you take a look around, you can see the old well of the town, which at this point is a ruin of stonework. Completely knocked over and collapsed. The setup with a bucket to actually draw water has been completely demolished. Much of the stonework has been knocked over and into the well itself. Just outside the front door of the cathedral, as you guys are stepping out, are about half a dozen corpses on the ground. One of them in tattered Pharasman robes, very clearly one of the priests of the cathedral. The rest seemingly likely just townsfolk themselves. Enough time has passed, enough undead have gotten to them that the flesh has been gnawed from their bones in its entirety. You guys do notice right off rip another, one zombie just sort of plodding along on the ground here. It hasn't noticed you guys quite yet. You could certainly attempt to engage it, which you guys would have a bonus to your initiative if you did so right now, but you could also certainly avoid it with relative ease.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what I wanted to ask. To what degree would it be viable for us to, engage small pockets of undead?
Effectively, the longer you spend here, the larger the amounts of undead you're going to run into at any given time are going to be.
So there's no way to, break off small pockets, wipe them out, and just slowly whittle down?
Because it's also, you guys see a bunch just around town. There is far too many for you guys to realistically think, yeah, we can clear out this town of undead. That should not be something on your guys' mind. You do not have the resources or the supplies to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is focused on survival, not destruction.
So some of the places are pretty obvious what they are, but what is the open pot?
The open pot, that was pretty much the most popular restaurant here in Yua's Hope.
So Mordesha, House Lodge, Hope's Breath Inn, the open pot, those would all be places that would have a large kitchen.
Yeah, the inn and the House Lodge were both sort of places for travelers. The Mordesha House Lodge specifically, most of you guys would know, was the local Pathfinder Society Lodge, whereas the Hope's Breath Inn was the actual inn. Those would be...
Creation.
Oh, sorry?
Go ahead. Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, those would be most likely places you would find kitchens and supplies, potentially. Cast Iron Creations was Rockfell's blacksmith shop. So, if you guys were looking for extra equipment in the way of potentially armor and weaponry, Rockvel would absolutely mention she had been in the process of making things for the Knights of Ozem when the undead arrived. So her blacksmithing tools would be there if you guys think you'll need to repair things on the journey, as well as some of her weapons and armor and shields that she had been making might still be around.
Suri's gonna
Terrible
whisper,
idea.
food and water. That's the most important thing. If we have the time, we can get to your shop, Rockville. Food and water.
Yeah.
If we get the equipment now, we can hand them out to the rest of the people, so if we do engage with undead, they have a better fighting chance. But that's just an option. Just something to think about.
As you guys have made your way slightly outside of the cathedral and are having this conversation amongst yourselves,
I feel like this might have been a conversation we had in preparation, like planning our route through the town. I don't know if that's okay.
sure, there is still going to be something that happens as you guys
Okay.
are leaving the cathedral.
Yes, yes.
The amount of time does not particularly matter in this case. Because, Ira, you made a mistake last night.
Yeah, I did.
And as you guys are making your way, by the way, feel free to reposition your tokens if that is not the sort of order you guys would be in coming outside.
I assume this map isn't to scale.
It is.
Uh,
You'll see these like larger dark squares are those are 10-foot squares because that is how the map is originally made. But this general thing is a scale-ish map.
wow, these are some really small buildings then. What the hell?
It's scale-ish, okay?
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not giving you guys like a 300 by 300 foot map. That would
Well,
be too
yeah,
much.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's... Sorry. Anyways.
I guess that is an inn.
Yeah, look, hey, the rooms are for halflings.
Ah,
Uh,
fucking halflings.
As you guys step outside of the cathedral, all of you hear a voice. Ira, I found you.
It's...
Uh-oh.
Ira is gonna take a look
Yup.
around, try to find it
And we
as
all
quickly
heard
as
it?
possible.
The skeleton of the priest begins to, one by one, with a faint blue light sort of coating the bones, begin to pull itself to its feet. I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative here. I'm going to ask you guys to use the checks you were using for initiative. So, Ira,
Okay.
that would be society. Skulk, that would be stealth. Suri, that is athletics for you. Mattis, that is perception for you.
19, baby.
Makes up for your natural 1 perception check.
Awesome.
And just because I can say it, Ira, when you were looking specifically for traces outside of the door, you also got a natural 1 perception check.
Would I have spotted anything otherwise?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Unfortunately, the creature that was there didn't really leave traces.
Yeah, I figured.
Mattis, you are the first to go as the skeletal priest coated in blue light stands up.
Oh boy. Hello there.
General Kenobi?
General Grievous. Like, hey, how about you vitality lash to the face?
Yeah, first thing you do, just immediately lash out with a bit of your vitality magic here.
Yep.
Try
I have
and impact
creature.
it. It is going to succeed on the save here.
Yeah, well. 10,
As-
5 plus weakness.
So 5 damage it takes.
Oh.
As
No.
the vitality magic lashes into this thing. Common logic would tell you an undead is afflicted by vitality. Not all undead are inherently weak to vitality, though. This one does not seem weakened by it.
Well, dang it. That case, I'll try to strike it with my sword.
Sure.
I pushed the wrong button.
Mattis instead puts his sword away. He chooses
Okay,
peace.
Maybe make peace of it. What's it? Oh.
Oh, unfortunately, your blade strikes out, and that blue energy sort of flares up and pops outward slightly, blocking the strike of your blade and sort of forcing it out of the way. Skulk, that is going to bring us to your turn, though.
So the vitality did nothing?
The vitality did normal damage. It was not weak to vitality.
Okay.
It was affected by it, but...
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we are going to throw a bomb at it. Just gonna quick bomber.
Yeah.
With one of my ghost shards.
Oh,
He might not
real
be weak
quick.
to it, but he's not resistant to it.
I'm assuming we are leaving the more civilianish people in the cathedral for now.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do that?
Well,
Remember,
I mean,
We're in the door.
part of the
yeah.
reason you guys were safe down in the crypts was because of the necrotic energy that was very present there, serving to protect you guys, and just your life forces from the undead.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean like we're gonna leave them there the entire time we go around the town. I just mean like...
Oh, as the fight breaks out?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, like, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, as the fight breaks out, I assume, most of them are going to sort of crowd backwards. Garag will step forward holding the blade, holding Dame Talia's sword as he prepares to protect the group from any undead that get past or sneak up. Your first bomb impacts and explodes out with a bit of that vitality energy, definitely eating away at that blue energy powering this skeleton, Skulk. It is still your turn. You've got 2 actions left.
Yeah. Gotta know what I would do. I know one action's gonna beat to 8. But I don't know what to do with the third action. This is kinda...
Well, you can always move.
Yeah, but like, there's no good place to move. Oh, is this just a thing over here?
That is the general position of one of the zombies you guys have noticed so far.
Okay.
Depending on
Does
how
it
long
look
this
like
fight
it
takes,
noticed us?
not quite yet. It might notice you guys soon, though.
Okay. Then I am going to...
By the way, Suri, you can go ahead and rage if you would like, since you get that when you roll initiative.
Question, Jericho.
If you
is
wish to.
The space between me and Ira, like, can I just walk through like this?
You can move through ally spaces, yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure because the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally,
Then
I'm
I'll
fine with that.
Okay, I'll go on this side so that I'm further away from the zombie.
Fair enough.
And
Suri,
then my action, I will...
who are you preparing to aid?
Suri on their next attack action.
Fantastic. Suri, you did want to use your free action on rage. And you roll initiative.
so
Okay.
we'll give it back.
It's it's an interesting situation for you because it does make you immune to the temp HP for 10 minutes when you rage. So you can rage again, but... Oh no, it's only from 1 minute. Never fucking mind. Barbarian's wild.
Yeah, barbarian is pretty cool. Is it my turn already?
It is not. It is this creature's turn. You're on deck, Suri. This creature is going to use all 3 of its actions on an ability.
Oh, that's spicy.
It is going to open its skeletal mouth. All of the blue energy surrounding it rushes up into the skull and emits outwards in a wave of light into each of you guys. Specifically... Ooh. It actually has to... it cannot get all of you in one cone, necessarily.
Ha, dummy.
Because you guys moved. So, it is going to get everyone but Suri. And I'm going to need a fortitude save from all 3 of you, please. Oh. A success for Mantis, a failure for Skulk.
Roll this.
And an exact success for Ira.
Yeah, we'll roll this. Woo!
Fantastic. All of you are going to take 3 points of void damage.
Even a success?
A success is this amount. It is different die rolls for the values of success. Yeah, this was not a basic save.
Sorry.
All good.
Ow.
So a little bit of this void energy washes over you guys. I think I'm going to leave it up to a die roll if it hits anyone as well, because Gorag was sort of standing at the front. Leave it up to a flat check if it catches him slightly in the area as well. It does. A 3 on the die, it's catching him a little bit, unfortunately. So, thankfully, he's got a really good fortitude save.
He's gonna nat 1.
He needs an 18. He is going to get a 26.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Which is actually really huge that everyone saved, because on a failure, this creature would have also healed.
Ooh.
But that is only if, as long as one creature fails at saving throw, it heals, and none of you failed. So, that taking its entire turn, Suri, we are up to you.
All right.
That's just face in.
So it says this priest is reduced to a skeleton, pretty much, right? Any discernible features still that Suri would recognize?
Aside from the sort of Pharasman robe on him, or on
Like
it right now?
An individual. Because she wouldn't have known the priest. Would she recognize which one it is?
You would not at this point.
Okay. So, yeah. So she's just really angry, of course. And is gonna punch it in the mouth.
Sure, before you attack, I believe you are getting an aid roll from Skulk.
Yes. Yes. The ghost charges the thing. I don't know actually. Oh.
So typically you would use a weapon attack. I will allow you to use perception because your weapons are very limited resources for you.
Ha ha ha! Then we're using the frying pan because my perception's a 2.
Can you throw the frying pan? Does it have the thrown trait?
Oh no, it doesn't.
Then I'm gonna leave you on, because you're not in melee range of this thing.
Oh, fair. Oh shit.
You fool.
So you can use one of your bombs if you want.
No. Alright, perception it is, and we pray that we don't do poorly here. Oh, we succeeded!
That's an exact success.
On the exact success. Let's fucking go!
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So it's a +1.
Yep, and it should
Yep.
be already applied because Skulk used the macro.
I see that. All right. No, that's underwhelming.
That's what hero points are for.
Oh my god.
And thankfully for the +10, turning it into a hit, Go ahead and roll some damage.
Ooh.
At least we got a good damage roll. And, hey, Suri, this thing's a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
What might skeletons be weak to?
My fists.
A fist?
Oh.
Yeah, as you punch forward, your blows slamming into bones that have become brittle with age. Before the blue light could sort of recover the body after it blasted outwards into most of you, you get a devastating blow, shattering many of the skeleton's ribs. It's still standing, but it is tattered.
Also, how the hell are you getting D10 fists?
Funny feat.
That's the brutal pugilist.
Oh, interesting.
A third-party barbarian feat.
Okay.
Try that again.
Sure. Shout out to Barbarians Plus, by the way.
I realized that
That was fun.
the Barbarians Plus though isn't taking into account that my fists should be agile, so I don't think the map should be 5. I think it should be 4.
Pugilist from that. It specifically says while raging, your fist changes to 1d8 instead of 1d4, loses the agile, non-lethal, and finesse traits, and gains two-handed d10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not target the thing.
That's okay. A 10 is a big ol' miss against it.
And then do a third one because that's what we do in Barbarian.
Oh, if only it
Oh.
was that 19.
Unfortunately, yeah, that blue energy managed to come down in time to hit and protect itself from the remainder of your blows, and protects the skeleton from further damage. Ira, we're up to you.
Yep. Ira is going to start off with exploit vulnerability.
Fantastic.
I of course do get my.
That's the macro.
I'm no.
Why are you rolling recall
I
knowledge
see what you
separately?
mean. So the text isn't there. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You don't have to roll recall knowledge separately because you have diverse lore. It's your exploit vulnerability roll against their recall knowledge DC.
Oh,
It's
you're right.
investigator that rolls a separate recall knowledge.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm actually gonna hero point that.
Sure.
In that case.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh.
Phenomenal. Yeah, as you... that's actually a really interesting case here. Because it is weak to bludgeoning right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always weak to bludgeoning, though. Because with your diverse lore, you recognize this thing as a corpse light.
Mm-hmm.
A type of will-o-wisp that specifically resides in a corpse in order to use it and move around. What question do you have about what this creature is capable of?
Sure. Okay. Can I actually ask? I don't know if I want to know about its combat capabilities. What I would like to know is, does it have something that would like let it know my name just automatically?
You recognize that corpse lights are not mindless undead.
Hmm.
So there is a possibility that it has memories from when it was alive and knows people's names or remembers them. You know it is certainly capable of speech.
Yeah. Okay.
But
okay.
I think Ira might also specifically be uncertain if there was something actually there last night or if they were hallucinating slightly.
I mean, this thing did just say, like,
It did
you made a mistake
indeed.
last night, so...
But you also saw Marco when he wasn't actually there. So... yeah, so you know what this thing is. You know it is theoretically... It's sentient. It is capable of speech. It could certainly remember names from when it was alive.
Okay. Cool. Then, in that case, Ira will say, before I destroy you, one question. Who are you in life? I don't know if you have an answer for that, Mr. GM. If it, like, doesn't remember who it is, then that's also
It does not
fine.
say anything right now. But...
Okay. Cool. Then, yeah, let's, throw ye old knife. Let's check some stuff. Okay.
Yeah, if you're throwing a knife from there, it will have cover.
Yeah.
Which specifically would actually make that a critical failure.
Cool. Let's fucking change that then.
Fantastic. Turns it into a hit.
Okay, cool. Okay, hold on. I need to... okay.
5 points of damage wouldn't be much, but because you recognize as a skeleton it does have some weaknesses and some fractures, especially ones created by Suri's devastating blow, one well-placed knife to the forehead of this skeleton will entirely shatter it. Notably, the skeleton and the robes fall apart and clatter down to the ground. That blue energy remains floating in the air as a wisp.
Pulling out her hatchets, Ira will say, "Finish it, Mattis."
Ira, you did this to me. How could you forget me?
Be gone, foul spirits.
Hey, watch me
Wait,
nat
don't
20
touch.
this.
No.
I did not.
Happened before.
Only a regular success.
What?
9
points.
Which, notably a corpse light, only survives on 1 hit point when its host body is destroyed, so it does not have any opportunity. It is simply obliterated at this point with that lashing out of vitality energy from you. I should specifically ask as well, as this corpse light falls dead on the ground, you do notice a couple things, especially sort of having fallen out of the robe of this priest. He might have some things that were on his body that may be useful to you guys, but that zombie has definitely taken notice and begun lurching its way towards you guys. Do you want to engage with it, or do you guys think it is time to move?
Suri's already almost charging it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I kind of feel like just taking that thing out, if anything else, to keep it from alerting other undead.
Then, Mattis, we are over to you.
Well, I only have 1 action left. I'll use my sword to get ready to grab that robe below, ready to go. Because evidently I suck with a sword, so I should stop using it.
Sure. Skulk, that brings us over to you. As this light is destroyed and this zombie begins lurching towards you guys.
They're gonna run up a little bit, and then quick alchemy, quick bomber, eco charge.
Fantastic.
To not use up the ones that I have already.
Nice.
A 19's a hit. We love triggering weaknesses. Oh boy, oh boy. Lots of damage to this thing. It's a single lone zombie right now. It shouldn't be terribly difficult for you guys to destroy this thing. But you recognize this is also only the first of the undead you guys have come across. Anything you'd like to do with your last action?
We're gonna recall knowledge because having more information is always good. It's like you're right, I can't really do much else.
It's a zombie.
I I didn't figure it was gonna go well.
Doesn't look anything special.
Well, that's
It's
cool.
alive.
Suri, go! Commit
And
violence.
she runs over, grunting as she does, and she basically pounces on it, fist flying. Let's see. And
I know exactly what good that is.
there we go.
Oh, this guy's
Oh,
so
damn.
fucked. He's so dead.
Oh
Oh,
no.
That still doubles the health he had remaining. Zombies only have 20 health.
She just punches right through its
Yeah,
face.
just entire skull smashed as your arm stretches through the back of this creature's head, and you pull it free, and the guy collapses to the ground, easily obliterated. And that will end the encounter for now.
Yeah,
Oh.
she pulls her hands back out, it shakes off the wet chunks of viscera and brain, and hisses back at the group. Check the priest's robe, and then let's keep moving.
Yeah, I'll scoop up. Yeah, I guess I can search through real quick.
Yeah, I think the best way I can generally describe the situation here in Yua's Hope is there are undead everywhere. They have not necessarily noticed you guys immediately, and the ones that do are pretty easily outmaneuvered. It is the less stealthy and less careful you guys are, or the more mistakes you make, the more are going to begin to notice and converge on you guys at a time.
Okay.
So, it is simply not sustainable to try and destroy all of them, because especially with a group of people with you, you'll reach a point where even you guys get pretty heavily outnumbered. But, Mattis, as you quickly maneuver through this guy's robes, see what you can find, you actually do find a couple things of interest to you. Notably, in an interior pocket in the robe, somehow not shattering when it hit the ground, is a single vial of holy water.
Oh.
Pretty easily recognizable to you that it's holy water. That is something I think all of you guys would inherently understand. Affixed to the robe is also a small alabaster pendant in the stylized shape of a weeping angel. And attached to the sort of back hip of the robe, something you didn't necessarily notice until it splayed outwards as the robe fell, is a mace. But more than a common mace, you notice on the haft of it is a single arcane rune. So, who, if anyone, would like any of these things?
My armor and all that, I'm pretty close to encumbrance.
Suri's gonna pick up the mace,
Sure.
pick up the holy water. How much holy water is it in a vial? Like, is this actually?
So holy
It's a
waters,
bomb.
it's a single vial. They act as alchemical, or not alchemical, but magical bombs, effectively.
Okay.
Would that mean Skulk
So-
has like proficiency in it?
Skulk
gonna
would
say-
indeed have proficiency with holy water.
He passes it to
I
Skull.
feel like everyone has proficiency with holy water.
Everyone does, but you specifically have the funny thrown bombs.
Fair.
Bombs are martial weapons, actually. So
That's true.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you can. I'll certainly put that over in Skulk's inventory. So you've got that.
With the pendant, Suri is a little. She like looks at the pendant, not touching it, and then she just grunts. Is this magic?
I think I know what the talisman is, but I need to do some research on it.
Which you guys may or may not have time to do. It does take 10 minutes to try and identify magic.
I will. I'll
Not
just
right now.
stow it for now.
Sure.
Yeah, stow it for now.
Okay.
Suri will also point out, like, just let me know if it's magic and I can get rid of it.
Just,
if this is what I think it is, it will be useful.
now,
We are
granted,
heading to the inn.
if it is a talisman, you guys don't, I think, have a repair kit amongst you with which to
You need a
attach.
repair kit?
Yeah.
To attach?
That's always been the
God.
case. That is how
I
talismans are
actually didn't know that.
attached.
I did not know that.
Yeah. If anyone ever looks up the affix a talisman action, the requirement is you must use a repair kit.
Well, it gives us a reason to go to Rockville's shop.
You are exactly correct there. Wow.
So, you know, this is
look
kind
at
of
that.
what we would have discussed before we got out here.
Mhm.
I personally, this is just my idea. If we go to Cast Iron Creations first, we can get weapons for everybody else so that they can defend themselves if things go south. So, like, you know, Cast Iron and then Open Pot, Hope's Breath, Brewery, General Goods, and leave. And of course, if at any point things start getting really bad, we can just leave halfway through.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You want me to throw a light spell way to the north so that it tracks them that way?
If you...
You think that's a good idea or not?
That might be worth it. How far? Again, like, I know the scale is weird. If we were to do it, like, over in the residential district, where, like, we're not planning on going to...
I don't think it's the middle of the day, or it's the morning, so...
It is early morning.
Unless it's, like, fairly darkish out still, and the sun's just starting to rise, I think they're just not gonna notice it.
I mean, it doesn't cost anything.
True, you're right. Yeah, we just do it anyway. Especially because
but-
it's foggy, so it might cause some weird stuff.
But sorry, I know previously you felt like we should go get the food and water first. So do you have any strong opinions on going to Cast Iron first?
I guess it's just around the corner, so let's
Let
make it quick.
let me tell you guys this as a little bit of above table stuff to potentially help your decision making. I will be asking for those evade the undead rolls effectively every time you guys move to a new location.
Okay.
So, every time you move to a new location, you effectively have a chance of being noticed by more and more undead.
Quick question. Based on what we know about the town hall, was there like a guard building over at the town hall?
Not really.
Okay.
If anything, like that Pathfinder Lodge and Hope's Breath Inn would have been where like some of the Knights of Ozem were staying occasionally. That might be where you would expect to potentially find something. But if you're really looking for things like weapons, Cast Iron Creations is probably your best bet.
Okay. Cool.
I have a question though, because all these buildings are here because as we were discussing it, somebody saw value in checking it out.
Mhm.
So what was the point about the town hall that somebody raised? Why we should check it out?
Let's see. I will ask anyone who wants to give me a recall knowledge about that.
It was
Specifically, for anyone who spent time in U.S. Hope and would have visited the town hall at some point.
Lamau, never mind then.
Very fitting we're ignoring your role because it was in that one era.
Hell yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense for you, Mattis. You remember a very nice map of the surrounding region was kept in the town hall. Something that is very not commonly made or kept, but there was a nice a map of Yua's Hope and its surroundings that would potentially benefit you guys on actually safely making it to your destination.
I think that would be very valuable if we didn't have the Kitsune scouts with us. Since we do, I feel like it might be a bit secondary. But that's just my
So mechanically, the scouts are going to be helping you guys with gathering food primarily, not so much on the sensing direction sort of side of it.
I think that map's gonna be pretty critical to this.
I mean, the thing is, there will be something useful at every place.
Yes,
Right?
every
So-
named place has something potentially useful at it. Maybe
Yeah,
not all of
so-
them, but all of them have something potentially useful.
Yeah, so I think we have our priorities more or less where we do want to get to cast iron creations first,
Sure.
and then we need to hit at least one food or water place,
Yeah,
and then let's see where we are then. Maybe we're
Yeah.
gonna have to kill it after that anyway.
I agree. Yeah, cast iron, open pot, see how things are.
Now, I will say, if you guys are thinking of trying to find food and water at places like the Open Pot, Hope's Breath Inn,
Oops.
it's
didn't
been
do that.
6 years.
Yeah.
The chances of finding
True.
stuff that has not rotted or gone bad in those places is slim. Not impossible, but not highly likely.
Yeah. I was just thinking maybe like preserved rations or something like that. But I don't
Dwarven bread or something.
know. Yeah.
There's always a chance, but... so it sounds like
What's
we are
the
moving
system for?
towards Cast Iron Creations to start.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Do
You
you
guys
guys
are...
think
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think it's worth to do the search while we're moving from building to building.
We're gonna take that negative if we try to.
Yeah. Knowing that negative, you're right. I mean, yeah, it might be best for you to evade undead instead.
Okay.
That's
If you think that's good.
Don't
Yeah.
make a roll for that yet, because I'm taking your guys' initial rolls for your first movement over towards Cast Iron Creations.
Okay.
So, you guys will have to re-roll when you move somewhere else from there, but you guys are free to move yourselves down to Cast Iron Creations. Which, as you guys make your way out of Allspire Cathedral and sort of around the road, sprinting from bit of cover to bit of cover as you see primarily zombies just sort of shambling around throughout the town, both semi-close and in the distance. Under your lead, some of the other just people from the crypts shadowing you guys forward. And you make your way towards Cast Iron Creations. Most of the buildings here in town have fallen apart in various stages. Many of them are barely standing still. Yet, perhaps as a testament to Rockville's ability to craft, Cast Iron Creations stands defiant against the passage of time and the assault of undead. It's certainly seen better days, but it does not appear at risk of collapse like so many other buildings do. Creeping lichen covers most of the building. There's strange patterns formed of that, almost resembling scowling skulls across the brick, but you're fairly sure that's just undead set dressing. As you guys pull open the ruined door and begin to take a look around the sort of fallen apart shop, I'm going to ask everyone who would like to try and find something useful to give me a perception check. You're going to get a +1 circumstance bonus because you've got Rockville helping you guys out. And what specifically between weapons, armor, and things like toolkits and equipment are you guys looking for?
I'm looking for toolkits.
Okay.
Was the implication that there's something else we can do besides searching?
Not really.
Okay.
here. It is just, what are you specifically searching for?
Ira would like to search for weapons, even like low quality ones.
Yeah.
Anything that can be handed out to everybody.
The thought that Rockville would make something low quality.
Okay, well,
Simple to use. Like,
Right.
yeah, simple to use.
Suri, what are you looking for specifically?
Anything useful?
Anything useful?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Mattis, how about you?
Repair kit.
Repair kit. Fantastic. Then between all of you guys, you do find a few things of use. In total, you do find a single repair kit.
Yay!
You also find a beautiful just set of blacksmith's tools, functioning effectively as an artisan's toolkit for blacksmithing. You guys find, in terms of weaponry, a very nice warhammer. Not the simplest to use.
A single warhammer.
Yeah, not 40,000 of them yet,
We
unfortunately.
need
No.
to find 30. We need to find 39,999 more.
Yep, and then you win Pathfinder.
Yay.
Not even like daggers or
We
knives to hand out to people.
Unfortunately, no. You do find a shield, though. Rockville was crafting equipment for the Knights of Ozem when
Okay.
everything went down. So it really was high-quality weaponry that she was making back then. So you find the repair kit, the artisan's toolkit, a warhammer, a steel shield, and Suri, you actually find a grappling hook. Whether you think that would have some form of potential use and want to take it is up to you guys, because all of these things do have a pretty hefty amount of bulk. You guys have to keep aware of how much you can legitimately carry.
Yeah.
But Suri has a nice backpack and strong shoulders. She's gonna grab everything.
Sure.
And the Warhammer, Garag is currently wielding a sword, so she's offering, and because I assume no one in the group wants the Warhammer, is that right?
Nope.
So she's offering the Warhammer and the shield to Garag and says, "You saw how brittle the bones of the skeletons are. It might be worth to have something to with more of a blunt force to it."
Hammers are what we practiced with back in the Death's Head also. So
Here you go. You know how to use a shield?
generally, put it in between me and whatever's trying to kill me.
Good start. Here you go.
So
She hands
he will take the shield and the warhammer. He's got the breastplate on, which also means the longsword can be given to someone else potentially, if you guys would like to.
Oh, I meant that the weapon that he can switch depending on what he needs. But
Ah,
yeah, sure.
he can also do that.
I think it might be
Who
good
else?
just to distribute, like have as many people armed as possible. That's just. Is there anybody else we're coming along with who can really do like fight stuff?
The
Only one that comes to mind is Rockville.
I was gonna say probably the only person who could wield a longsword would be Rockville. Were you guys to find like some simple weaponry, most people could use it, but for something like a sword, Rockville's going to be the only other person capable of using it to any major effect.
And Suri is also going to grab the. Oh, I see. I have the grappling hook. Already.
Yeah, already dropped that stuff in your inventory.
All right.
I was gonna say I can grab the repair kit if anything.
It's in Suri's inventory right now, but Suri, if you wanted to give it over to Skulk to hold on to, that's a-okay as well.
Of course.
So,
What do I give?
if you just
Oh, so-
drag it from your sheet onto Skulk's token,
Okay.
it works. Because we're using Giveth. Good old tool belt.
Give it.
Giveth.
Give it- The artisan's tools. I'll hand to Rockville.
Sure. Fantastic. Yeah, so she can potentially cobble some stuff together for you guys. And I'm sorry, remind me, were you guys creating a light somewhere, or did we scrap that plan?
I think maybe once.
Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking maybe once we start moving to our locations, I might consider it again, but at the moment, not yet.
Okay. Cool. Because I have our funny dancing light token that we can use for that.
I mean,
Oh.
See that?
I finally found where I had it in one of my servers and just exported it for permanent use.
makes sense.
Fantastic. So you guys spend a couple minutes doing this. You guys do have to spend some time searching through the building in order to find these things. But you do find a couple weapons, some armor, some equipment that can be done. And you guys are able to do anything else, whether you want to move on from here or what.
Move on seems good.
Okay.
Check out the open pot.
Open
Yeah.
pot.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I am going to ask for the next evade undead roll as you guys leave Cast Iron Creations and begin heading towards the open pot.
-1 circ this time?
Yes, only -1 circumstance penalty this time.
Gosh darn it, Marco. Why couldn't you sleep after you heard your dead mother's voice?
I wonder.
Weak.
Okay, fantastic.
I need my penalty. Damn it, Marco.
Okay, these rolls are not going great so far. Thankfully, we got some good ones this time, but as you guys make your way out of Cast Iron Creations, you do notice a few more undead have noticed your presence at this point. I would say these undead, yet more zombies, of course, that notice you. You could certainly avoid them still. You spot them, and they probably spot you and begin moving in your direction. But it's more so at this point you can either keep moving, or they will eventually catch up to you guys if you wanted to just keep going avoiding them for now.
I mean, like, if we were to head to the open pot, does it seem like they would follow us there?
They would eventually catch up to you there, yes. So do you want to try and take them down now, or do you want to just try and avoid them for now?
Suri cracks her knuckles.
Yeah.
This
I
would be
agree
like
with
the
sentiment.
first time that you guys could leave, and they probably would not be able to catch up to you were you to leave you as hope at this point.
No. We've got way too much stuff to look for.
Okay.
It's a pair of zombies, you
It
said?
is
Two?
4 zombies.
4.
Yes,
We can do it.
we can do it.
Then I am going at this point to ask everyone to roll initiative, again using those same rolls you used for your check.
-1.
No -1 to this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I do love, Mattis, though, that you named your athletics check penalty. Damn it, Marco.
Damn it, Marco!
I named my bonus for looking through the Cast Iron Creations Rockmail Bone.
There you go.
Stealth check.
Yeah, because Skulk used stealth. Fantastic. Ira, you are actually our first one to react as Suri cracks her knuckles and drops into a rage. You are our first one to potentially do something to these.
Yeah, I'm actually not going to exploit vulnerability because I'm already getting the weakness from my hatchet anyways.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think I just throw my hatchet. Nothing more complicated than that.
Alrighty. Let's do it. Throw thine hatchet.
Do it.
12 is an exact hit.
Yeah, dumb
Yippee
zombies.
Suck it, zombie.
Fantastic. The blade slicing through the air, catching the zombie directly in the chest and sending it stumbling backwards a step. Not enough to stop its onslaught towards you, though.
And then I will do an empowered fling magic.
Okay, fantastic. You're asking my zombie to make a reflex save.
Yes,
How
I
dare
am.
you? That's the rudest thing you could ask of me, which is why I'm going to fail it normally.
Ira will say, Surly, look away for a moment.
Dead.
Watch the other zombies.
I was gonna say she's hopefully she's focused on the other ones. Yeah.
Fantastic. That does it for your turn, Ira. That is going to bring us to this zombie in particular. That is going to stride right over here. And is going to lash out with its fist towards you, Ira, trying to slam into you. But I believe a 13 is a big old miss.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Mattis, we are over to you.
Wow, these fools are all within 30 feet of me.
Yeah?
And we have some injuries, so...
You do have some
reaction.
injuries. The resources begin getting used. That is... Hey, that's the big thing you think about. This entire section in You As Hope is basically a decision of what resources do you want to use. Everyone is free to heal heal those 8. And the 2 zombies closest to you guys are going to take half. The zombie furthest away crit fails with a nat 1 and instantly just melts under the divine flame of your magic.
Yeah,
Double damage and triggering
destroy
weakness.
these monsters.
You know, I actually forgot something, Mattis. I am so sorry that I should have mentioned to you earlier. It was when you took damage from that Corpse Light's Death Light. You felt a burning presence from your bag. You innately understood that were you holding it, you could have activated that reaction of the Bloodstone in response to taking damage.
Huh.
Were you holding it, of course.
Right.
But as that brings your turn to an end, that is going to bring us to this zombie right here. That's gonna skedaddle on forward, and hey, speak of the devil, take a swing at you.
Stop it.
No, I refuse. But I will miss. And that does it for its turn. Sorry, go kill things.
See.
Be unleashed, barbarian.
It's attacking
Barbarian unleashed.
Mattis right in front of her. She does not like that.
It is indeed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're attacking with your fists or that magic mace you got.
With her fists.
Fair enough.
As I already forgot.
Well, hey, you deal more than enough damage with your fists as is to take down a regular old zombies.
Yeah. There we go. Alright, that was action 1.
Yep.
Action. Then a quick step over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another punch.
Now, as a general reminder, if you wanted to make it a full stride, you could have gone to here and been flanking with Ira.
Thank you for the reminder. I will do that. And
Since
right,
since zombies are slowed, you never have to worry about them potentially having a reactive strike.
right.
But
That, come on, I'll reroll.
Sure.
I'll heal it.
we're pretty close to end
neither
the
is this.
session.
That's right. Why can't I like this? Because I can't work a touchpad.
Oh no.
Come on.
This touchpad.
There we go.
A fantastic roll, the
Oh.
flanking making it a crit.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this zombie lives.
There's 2 points of damage.
Yeah, that zombie is just toast immediately. Fantastic. Yeah, this this another group of undead rapidly noticing as you guys make your way out of Cast Iron Creations. Again, I mean, an increasing number of undead noticing your presence as you guys make your way out of these locations. You can tell the longer you take, the more and more are going to notice you and the more dangerous it's going to get for you. For now, it's pretty easily manageable, but what's it going to look like when 6, 8, 12 zombies at a time are noticing your presence and all converging on you? What happens when Mattis runs out of heal spells for that, and so on and so forth. So, just something to keep in mind. But you guys are able to make it to the open pot without much issue, which this is a building that is much more heavily damaged. The roof has entirely caved into this structure, the walls being left to form a shape not unlike that of a massive cauldron. The front of the building is, of course, on the other side. But as you guys approach, you are able to find lying amidst the rubble the ancient sign of the building, still legible and reading the open pot. So, as you guys make your way in, you are specifically not doing search as your basic exploration action anymore, Mattis.
Yeah.
Which, when I bring you guys over to another map, don't question as to why. How's that sound?
I'm sure she's fine.
There's zero reason I'm doing this.
So we can better see pressure.
Exactly. You guys find yourselves at the front door of the building, doing your best to avoid the arrival and notice of other undead. But you have found your way here. What fun.
Suli, if you don't mind, take my position. I don't feel like being right up against the door.
Of course.
Thank you.
Suri is carefully trying the door,
Yeah, it's unlocked.
peeking inside.
Yeah, as you step in and take a quick look around, the entire building is in shambles. Most of the furniture completely rotted and ruined at this point. There are shingles and pieces of slate from the roof all over the place, having collapsed. You do notice the southern end has a sort of separate space. You would remember this from your time living here. That is effectively the office of the restaurant. As you guys enter, can I get a perception check from Suri and Mattis, being our first two in?
Okay.
Fantastic. Mattis, you hear something from actually nearby. You hear lots of somethings.
Oh no.
From nearby.
Oh.
Squeaking sounds.
Oh no.
Of tiny creatures moving about under the ruined furniture.
Perhaps a swarm of tiny creatures?
Perhaps indeed a swarm of tiny creatures. But as they begin to emerge, Mattis, I will say, you calling this out and noticing this gives everyone the opportunity to draw whatever they would like to have in their hands at the start of combat, as opposed to whatever they might normally be carrying. I am going to ask everyone to once more roll initiative. Suri and Mattis, I'll just have everyone roll perception for this one, actually.
Roger, Dodger. Not a good one.
As dozens upon dozens of tiny skeletal rats begin rushing towards you guys. Ira, you are once more the first one to act.
Cool.
Because you guys keep rolling stupidly well on your initiatives.
and
Yay.
bad
Knock it
on
off.
Everything else.
No.
Okay. Exploit vulnerability. I'm sorry, I didn't usually. I'm gonna delete it and then get the macro.
I'm just gonna throw it on your hotbar by next session.
No. I'm getting it right now. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Keep my chat box clean. See, isn't that so nice?
And then also my funny
Yeah.
verse lore.
Fantastic. So, of course, you recognize this is a swarm of skeletal rats, which for you would tell you a couple things. It is a swarm, so you've got those inherent weaknesses to area and splash damage. These are also skeletons, so they have inherent resistances not just to piercing and slashing like a swarm normally would, but cold electricity and fire as well. Because they are
God.
skeletons. What other question might you have about these things?
Special abilities.
Yeah, do you want their active actions or passives?
Actives.
Actives.
Yeah. I know a swarm has it's in a, ability attack rather than an actual attack.
Yes, and you would recognize that the bites these rats are able to put out are going to be pretty painful. And of course, every creature in their space will need to make a reflex DC when they use that action. It is going to be a pretty hefty amount of piercing damage.
Okay. In that case, Ira will
I'm glad I'm
go
not the only
ahead
one who can't get the names right.
and stride over here. A little
Sure.
dangerous, but she doesn't want to be in swarm formation. And then she'll go ahead and throw one of her light hammers. I don't know what a thaumaturge exploiting area damage looks like.
Just taking a cloth and attaching it to the end so it covers as much space as possible.
Yeah,
a 15 just barely misses, unfortunately. But a 25 will hit.
Oh, right. Yeah, 10. Healies.
Y'all need to stop rolling well on your damage. Can you do that for me?
I refuse.
All right. Definitely impacting, squishing a large number of these rats, but not nearly enough to make a dent. Mattis, that'll bring us over to you.
Oh boy. Likewise, I'm gonna make some distance.
Sure. I know the artwork doesn't look like skeletons. I unfortunately don't have artwork for a skeletal rat swarm. So you got the normal rat swarm artwork.
What are
For
we
some
paying
reason,
you
no one's
for
ever
then,
done it.
Jericho? Wow.
It's a creature
how
unique
you
to this
watched
book, and they didn't give me artwork for it. I'm fucking in a tragedy over here.
You see.
7 points of vitality.
Oh no. Anyway, I will succeed.
Oh.
Which I don't know why that was the modifier it applied. That should be actually... Oh, because it's a fortitude, not a reflex. I can't read.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. They absolutely take that. No weakness to it, though.
Damn, it's open.
And that will bring us to the rat swarm's turn, which is going to use its first action to come striding into Suri and Skulkstick's space. Yes, they can leave this place. And I am going to need 2 reflex saves each from Suri and Skulk as the rats
criticals, guys.
swarm and bite into you guys. Fantastic. A success for both of you on your first rolls. Sorry, I've got a button for the reflex save. But that is a failure for both of you on your second ones. Turning it into a success for Skulk. Would you like to hero point your second one, Suri?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Sorry for missing.
No worries. I'm just going to be a nuisance when you guys do. Fantastic. So successes all around. So you guys are going to take half damage on this first bite. So 3 points of piercing to each of you. And then again, half damage on the second one since you both succeeded. For another 4 points of piercing damage.
Oof.
As they nibble through your legs, and you can begin to feel the pain and the blood flow from their bites, but it is not enough to bring any of you down. And Suri, you may kill.
Well, we'll see.
Don't destroy my rats.
She doesn't even move out of the space. She just brutally swings that rune engraved mace around, hoping to crack as many skeletal rats as possible.
Phenomenal.
Smash.
Oh.
That's a hit.
Hurry, smash.
Oh!
Oh,
Yeah, whoa.
Jesus.
Nice.
That was loud. Sorry. I got jump scared.
Yeah, same.
jump scared by damage. Oh no. An unfortunate damage roll, but still doing quite a bit to them, and they don't appear to resist any of it, so... Yeehaw.
Are they weak, though?
They are not, because skeletons are normally resistant, or skeletons are normally weak to bludgeoning, but swarms are normally resistant to it, so for these guys that just cancels out.
Oh, fun. Okay, so she swings it one more time.
Yeah.
One last time.
That's a hit.
On the third one. That should give bonus damage.
No, because I will never reward people for map 10 attacks. Phenomenal. As you smash outwards with your hammer, just cracking into as many of these skeletons as you possibly can, numerous of them dying to each of your blows until less than a dozen remain by the time we reach Skulk's turn.
Alright, Skull's gonna run away.
Fantastic.
And then they're gonna throw a bomb.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they'll probably just keep using vitality bombs.
That unfortunately just barely misses. Using that last hero
There we
point
go.
turns it into a hit, though.
Because it's the end of the night.
Oh no.
Not a lot of damage, unfortunately. Had you rolled any other number, it would have killed.
Well, we're going to go for that last attack.
Yeah, with that weakness to area damage, even though it doesn't deal a ton, it splashes out into a number of them.
Yeah.
It certainly hurts.
I will just do the first charge. Nope, not that one. This one.
A 16's an exact hit. And that's going to be enough for these guys. As
Let's
one
go.
more bomb flies out, the glass cracks, that divine energy coats the skeletons, and the last of them are burned away in divine fire. And the skeletal rats are all deceased. What fun. What a goofy little stat block.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, the disease these rats carry, you would have only been afflicted with had you failed one of your reflex saves.
Nice.
So you did not just make saves in general, it was only on failures.
Nice. How did
So,
that mace feel?
I think that question was to
So
you.
you-
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Yuri's scanning the room for more creatures, walking over to the door. If the room stays quiet, she's gonna open that one.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And she sees.
Yeah, as you guys, the common room itself is pretty damaged and destroyed, but maybe there's something to find. As you make your way into this sort of southern office, the pretty much entire room seems to have been stripped of its furnishings, save for a very heavy oak desk against the far wall.
Interesting.
So it is up to you guys where or what you would like to search. Anything in particular you would like to look at. We are going to, of course, end session once we sort of finish explorations of this building. I just don't want to leave it off part way.
Ira will search the common room.
Sure.
I'll search the desk.
Okay.
It's a mimic. Ah!
uh,
The door has me.
Skulk and Suri, what about the two of you?
Just gonna be exploring the.
Yuri's gonna search the desk.
Sure. Fantastic. And I'm sorry, Skulk, I think you cut off slightly at the end. Where were you looking?
Just kind of exploring the room.
The common room or the office?
I mean, the two people in the office, Matt and Suri, are searching the desk.
They are, which is literally the only thing in this room.
Okay, I will search the common room then with Ira.
Fantastic. Okay. Those of you up in the common room don't find much of use. However, Skulk, with your fine eye for alcoholic beverages, do actually end up finding a pretty finely wrought pewter tankard.
Hell yeah.
No real use, but hey, it's got some value for
Hell
you.
Yeah.
Suri and Mattis, as the two of you take some time to look over the desk, most of it, some of the drawers have papers about the restaurant's daily operations in decent condition. You do notice one of the drawers, the uppermost right drawer, has a simple lock on it, and would either need to be picked or broken open if you wanted to try and access whatever is there.
Oh, interesting.
Yuri readies the hammer. You want me to open that?
Perhaps someone here is proficient at opening locks more quietly.
Does anyone have a thieves' toolkit?
No.
That's a good question.
I don't think anyone does.
Oh, so it's quieter, huh? Okay. And she gets out the knuckle dagger and starts wedging it into the trying to lever it open.
Yeah, absolutely. You can certainly give me an athletics check to force it open if you want to.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
The first time Suri uses the knuckle dagger is to try and force open the desk. Love it.
Yeah, good thing Garak is not here to see this.
Right? He's just outside keeping watch. Most of the rest of the people have come into the common room once the rats were destroyed, just to remain out of sight on the street. And Garag's the one who's outside keeping a watch and just making sure you guys don't get surrounded. A 20 is an exact success, Suri.
Woohoo!
And you manage to sort of... the lock, it's simple, it's old. Wedging the dagger in, you manage to just barely sort of snap it out of place and to be able to open the desk. Similarly, filled with quite a lot of general paperwork. However, amongst all that paperwork, you notice a scroll. Much different from everything else. The penmanship on it is a lot larger, a bit more flowy. You can inherently recognize this shit's magical, because normally you would hate that. However, this scroll is specifically divine only. So you don't sort of have that immediate inherent revulsion you have towards some other magic.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I'd
her
actually...
first-
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say her first reflex as soon as she finds that suspicious writing, she like almost crumple it up before she realizes
Nope.
like, oh
Wait.
no, this feels different. And she says, Mattis, is this magic? She says, pointing at it accusatorily.
Let me take a look at it. I do what I need to.
Not only is it magical, Mattis, you immediately recognize what spell it is.
Oh, nice.
Because it's a spell you normally prepare. It is a scroll of infused vitality.
Oh, this is that's a straw. The spell I used on you when we were attacked in the crypt.
Oh, okay, that was very helpful. Here, and she hands it over.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got a spell scroll now. And as you guys take some time to reconvene with yourselves and the rest of the group here in the common room, some of you are injured at this point. The morning is wearing on. But you potentially have more places that could be looked into, or if you guys think, having checked like the main restaurant in town and not finding anything, if it's time to simply move on and leave, that is of course always an option. But we will leave that conversation for next week, as this is where we are going to end off for tonight. Thank you all so much for playing. I hope you enjoyed. And
That was fun.
I think I can pretty reasonably say you guys should be prepared next week to level up. Because you will reach level 2 when you are content with your explorations of Yua's Hope and decide to fully set out on the road towards Vellumis.
Nice.
So, thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jericho.
Thanks, Jericho.
Bye-bye!
Bye.
Bye.